Have you been struggling to find an apartment or having trouble standing out from the crowd of all the applicants that are going in? Well, you're not alone. Maybe you're an immigrant to Canada and you're new and you're trying to figure out, how can I stand out? How can I make this landlord trust me and get an apartment? And there are several ways to do this, which I'm going to go through, a couple what not to do's and a couple of things that if you do, I can promise you that you will get an apartment really quick. So let me get right into it. I'm going to do this through the lens of a landlord because I'm a realtor here in Sudbury, Ontario, and I work with a lot of landlords and I'm a landlord myself. So I'm going to show you, kind of explain what we see, what we want to see, and how ultimately you can get in an apartment of your dreams that you can stay in, love, and enjoy. So let's get right to it. First of all, what not to do. So you need to start on the right foot. The first place you're likely going to see the listing is on Facebook, Kijiji, or some of these websites, and you're going to send a message. Please read the description. Read the full description because often it tells you exactly when the open house is, when the showings are going to be. Don't just click, is this still available? That is one of the most annoying things as a landlord to get because it doesn't show that you're serious. It shows that you're probably just going through the whole list, clicking is this available, and making the landlord do the work. Be proactive, get in their DMs, and actually send a good message. The other thing to not ever do is say that you're moving in with a bunch of people. Say if it's a 2-bedroom apartment and you say you're going to be 4 or 5, the landlord will probably look away. If you want to avoid this, or if you want a chance to get the apartment, say, hey, I know we're more people than you probably want. So relate to the landlord and say, we're willing to pay you a little bit extra. So if you're 4 people, you'll be splitting that extra $100 or $200 a month, which could save you guys some money. But it'll also look better for the landlord because in the landlord's point of view, what they're thinking is more utilities, more potential cars, more potential damage, more water, hydro, all those things, more laundry, right? All those thoughts are going through the landlord's mind. So avoid that. Now quickly, 3 tips that I promise you, if you follow these, you will get an apartment. Number 1, show up like you're showing up for a job interview. Look clean, professional, shaven, in nice clothes. I know this shouldn't matter, but it does. First impressions do make a difference. If you're showing up like you don't really care, then the landlord will automatically stereotype and think you probably won't care about your apartment or where you're going to be renting. So you'll be at a disadvantage already. Number 2 is if they have an application, fill it out fully ahead of time. Show them that you're serious. And do not say, oh, I don't want to answer this question. The more information, the better, which leads me to number 3. Give extra information. This one's very important if you're an international renter or someone who's new to Canada and you immigrant. You don't probably have a credit score yet, which is completely normal, completely fine. But most landlords ask for a credit check, which means you have a history of paying all your bills. If you don't have that, give extra information. And this is the same for locals as well. Print out bank statements. Print out your credit check if you have it. Print out payments that you've been making, your online bills, maybe for your car if you've been making car payments, or for your telephone if you've been making phone payments. Any type of consistent payments that you've been making, if you have money in the bank, print that out. Show it to the landlord. I know it's personal information, but if you want to get an apartment, landlords will really appreciate. I'll give you a quick example. There was someone who was moving here from Asia. They messaged me and they're like, we really want an apartment. And I didn't know them. Wasn't sure if I could trust them, right? I didn't really know them that well. But because I've been making these videos and they could trust me, I'm a local professional, he sent me a 40-page document with his birth certificates, bank statements, credit checks from overseas, all the information that you can imagine. So I felt extremely comfortable recommending him to someone that I knew that had an apartment for him to rent. So boom, he got one right away. He probably gave me too much, right? That's a little bit much because I had a lot of his personal information, driver's license, all those like personal documents. I didn't share them at all, but having them made me feel extremely comfortable. So if you can go even 80, 75% of what I just said, give them as much information as possible, show them that you're going to be a good tenant, prove to them, put in the work, and you can have a template, right? Just send it to all the landlords. So that's the best tip that you can get. The best if you do that. And then a pro tip to look like a great tenant, this is just really quick, is if they seem like they like you like them, you like the apartment, ask them, how are the other tenants in the building? Are they quiet? Do they smoke? Ask them all those types of questions. Do they have pets that are annoying? Those questions make it seem like you are a quality tenant and you do not want to be disturbed and you want to take care of the property and you want the rest of the tenants to be also good tenants. So that's a really quick tip. It really looks good. When I get that question, I'm like, this person seems really interesting. So those are my tips for getting an apartment here in Canada, in Sudbury specifically. If you have any questions, I don't actually do rentals as a realtor, but I can point you in the right direction if you have any questions. So if this at all helped you, please like, subscribe, share this with maybe 2, 3, 5 friends if you can that could really use these tips. So that's it for today. Hope this helped, and I'll talk to you soon.